jolly good.
Oh, God. My room also smells of farts. Thunderpants. I didn't know how else to open up this my thoughts on, so I had to do that. Actually, it does smell a bit weird in here. It's not farts or anything. It's anyways. Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clayton Zoka. Thunderpants, a early 2000s British kids film directed by Peter Hewitt. You may not know his name, but he also directed The Borrowers, the one with Jim Broadbent and John Goodman. And if you're wondering what I thought of The Borrowers, I mean, I've only seen like 20 minutes of it. I have not seen the full film at all, nor do I plan to at all. I heard it's one of those family films that's considered a classic, I guess. I never saw it. The bits I saw in the film were fine. Although I did enjoy John Goodman, and I probably watched the film just for him and Jim Broadbent, Mark Williams, and Salila Imrie, and freaking Tom Felton, Draco Malfoy. Bloody hell. So, oh, and Hugh Laurie's in it too. A bit of a strange cast, but okay. Yeah. So I haven't seen it. I probably won't do my thoughts on it. I don't have any plans to talk about that film. It just looks like a very cartoony kids film. With Thunderpants, this was distributed by Pathé Pictures, and this is once, like I said, the same director of The Borrowers. This film has a surprisingly big cast. Rupert Grint in his second film after Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, not Sorcerers. Stephen Fry, Paul Giamatti, Ned Beatty, Simon Callow, Celia Imrie, and I'm gonna forget. And oh god, I'm gonna forget his name in a minute. I just saw him in the film. It's just gonna slip my mind. 1 second. I don't know why I forgot this person was in the film. Also, Adam Godley. There we go. Adam Godley. This is a film about a boy who farts. I didn't see the film when it came out. I was like, so it came out in 2002, and I would have been exactly that age. I mean, I have discovered. Excuse me. I have discovered the film quite well, not recently, but it's one of those films that I've actually watched, but I've only watched like a little bit of it. I watched it on. I think this was when I was like switching channels and all that, and I just saw a scene from the film and I was like, "What the hell's this?" Like, I've never seen it before. I never heard of it until I saw that little scene on, I think it was Channel 5, believe it or not. And I was like, what the hell's this? And then I actually discovered it again when I watched a Ice Age VHS opening. Yes, I actually do watch those. Don't ask why. Same with DVDs. Don't ask why. It's just a thing I like to do. And in that Ice Age VHS opening, there was a trailer for this film, and I was like, I sort of recognised it for a minute. I was like, where have I seen this before? It looks awfully familiar. And then I was like, oh yeah, I saw a little bit of that on television at one point. Yeah. So yeah. The trailer actually didn't make it look like it was about farting. The trailer actually looked not too bad, actually. It looked quite decent. And there was like another trailer where it made it clear that, I mean, the name, it's clear in the name. It's about farting. And I was like, oh god, it's gonna be one of those kids' films. So I just rented the film today. You'd be surprised by how hard it is to find a copy of this film, except for buying it on DVD, which I have no intent of doing so. But I rented the film just for the sake of this my thoughts on, so let's talk about it. So Patrick Smash is a boy, and he's played by Bruce Cook. He's a boy who farts, and I don't just mean and I don't mean that by, you know, from the title, but he's big, fat, and he's kind of small-minded. He he was born with the farting ability when he was born, and as you would expect, he gets made fun of at school. His parents, even his dad, leaves him for just how smelly he is. His sister doesn't approve of him, and his mother's something else. The only friend he has is a genius inventor named Alan A. Allen, who's played by Rupert Grint. Why is that? Because he hasn't got any scent of smell, so that means he can't smell his farts, which is unique, I guess. And he gets bullied by Damien, who's played by, I'm going to say, I know it's one of Malfoy's friends, but I don't remember if it's Crabbe or Goyle, but I'm going to say it's one or the other, I guess. Goyle, there we go, Goyle, from Harry Potter. So that's 2 Harry Potter stars in one, and 3 in The Borrowers. Does Peter Hewitt... Did the director predict their future roles or something? Technically, with Thunderpants, it was after the first... Never mind. I'm getting too much into a film called Thunderpants. Anyways, things happen in the film. Patrick Smash has been used as a vocal instrument with Sir John Osgood, played by Simon Callow, and he uses him just to try and be the best singer against Adam Godley, who plays a character named... I can't read that name at all. And he actually murders him. Patrick murders him with farting. And so he gets accused of murder, and he gets sentenced to prison as well. However, he actually dreamed of being a spaceman because he likes spaces and all that. He likes rockets. And the general, Ed Shepherd, played by Ned Beatty, needs him for this mission, and he's accompanied by Johnson J. Johnson, our original, who's played by Paul Giamatti, and they just need him to save some spacemen. Okay, I may have spoiled the entire film, but I was expecting this film to be your very run-of-the-mill, lowbrow, dumb kids film. And to my surprise, it actually isn't. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what? A film about a kid that farts? That's not actually terrible. You'd be surprised. I've never read any reviews on it. The film's got like 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is surprisingly high, but on IMDb it's like 3.7, so there seems to be a very mixed bag with Thunderpants here. I'll say this now. This is actually one of the more watchable kids' films I've seen in a long time, especially from the early 2000s. The film, it just has fun with what it has. It's very cartoony, it's very silly, but it's actually not painful or cringy. There are a few moments, especially at the beginning, where I thought it was like, I know he farts and all, but it's like a bit too gross for my liking. However, they use his farting ability for creative moments, like when they go into this flying, like this invention competition where Patrick uses his farts to fly, which is creative, and he uses it to help Simon Callow be a great singer, which is also creative, and to also to get the to launch the rocket. And I'm like, okay, it's silly and stupid and dumb, but it's a bit creative. It's better than like farting in someone's face. I mean, one of the characters does happen. I mean, this does happen to one of the characters, even though Patrick doesn't. Never mind. I spoke too soon. There is an occasional fart moment. I can't say joke. The jokes that involves around farts are more like visual gags and just character structures for Patrick, I suppose. But there are a few times where he does fart in someone's face, but that's only like maybe twice, which is I'm quite surprised, to be fair, because I thought he would have done it more times, but no, not really. So I was surprised to see that the humour actually is actually quite funny, a bit goofy and silly, and it acts like something from a very run-of-the-mill early 2000s kids film, but it's actually really entertaining. And also, for a film that's... what rating is it? It's PG. This film has a surprisingly amount of profanity. I'm not lying. There is so much in profanity. There's 2 uses of crap. Even Patrick uses the word arse like 6 or 7 times. Goddamn is used. Damn's used also. And I know what you think, if it's a kids film, then why the hell is it using profanity? There are so many animated and even kids films also that got away with so much profanity. I mean, have you seen Ants? Which reminds me, why the hell did they use the main theme from that film in the trailer? These 2 films have something in common, and it's weird. And don't get me wrong, I actually don't mind. I don't mind when kids' films use profanity. I mean, I don't know why, it just makes it a little bit more mature and a bit more non-threatening, I guess. It's weird, but I don't mind it so much. Oh, and also the mother actually has a flusk, and she actually drinks gin as well. Like, this film is a lot more adultish than I imagine. There were a few points where the film did kind of drag on a little bit, with him going around the world with Simon Osgood just to use his farts for vocals. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed them, but it did drag away from the story a lot. And when he finally actually does what he wanted to do, that's like in the last 30 minutes, and I'll give the film credit for not at least overstaying its welcome, but it could have been a little longer, I guess. And also, his dad who leaves in the beginning of the film? We never see him again. And there could have been some chemistry between him and the dad, but the only thing I get is, it's just, oh, he's farting, he doesn't like his farts. And there are a few cliches here and there, like the whole character explains something that's slightly overcomplicated that could help the main character. The main character looks at the other character like he doesn't get it, and the genius character just tells him something simpler related to what he said that's complicated. But in this case it works because Alan is a genius and Patrick Smash is just a kid with a heart, I suppose. The directing for the film is a lot of fun as well. You can tell the guy was, he did enjoy making it also. What can I say? You would think it's a film about farting. It's a little more than that. The writing is actually funny. It's clever. It's actually got some clever uses of the fart, and it doesn't make it... It's not too obnoxious. A few times it can be, and it almost made me gag a little bit at the beginning. Just a little. But it's actually funny. It's a lot of fun to watch. Kids, I can see, really enjoying this also. It's clever. It's funny. It has a good message in the film, and it's done really well. And you can tell that the main character is desperate, and he is likable, and he does want to achieve what he wants. So I never thought I'd say this, but this is actually not a badly written kids film. So you get a simple big thumbs up. I never thought I'd say that for a film called Thunderpants, but I digress. Visuals. You can really tell this is a 2002 film. Oh, it's not bad looking. In fact, the visuals and the overall look of the film actually has that very. It actually has a 90s look to it. It looks like something you would see in Tim Burton or even a little similar to Cat in the Hat as well, by how green and how very early 2000s British kids look. I mean, exclude the Britishness of Cat in the Hat. Visually, I think the film is not too bad actually. There is no. I mean, the use of CGI actually isn't much. There would be a little bit for the farting and all that, but besides that, there are some practical effects here, like the Thunderpants trousers that Alan makes for Patrick. Um, and even the costumes that some of the other characters wear look quite. It looks quite cartoony, but I kind of see the appeal there. There are a little bit of CGI, especially for when he's in the rocket, and it's actually not badly done. It's not terrible actually. It's not good, but it's like I've seen worse effects. To be fair, um, it's I think most of the locations are shot in London, and it looks like a very mundane London. And I kind of like how films go for the very dull-looking London, or I don't know what area Patrick's in, but it's like it looks like a very English place with an English school, English flats, and an American control center as well. So it's an interesting looking film. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good to look at. And from 2002, it doesn't look dated at all. A little with the effects, but the effects are not terrible. It's just rather minor. It's just a rather minor issue. I can't think. I'm trying to think of what else to say. Oh, and in the beginning of the film, when we see Patrick Smash, who's born, is it me or did they use like an actual baby doll for it? For well, I'm not going to say what, but am I the only one that notices that? I don't know. So again, I have to give absolute credit to the I have to give credit to the visuals because it looks like it's from the early 2000s, which it is, but it doesn't look half bad. It looks very English, but it looks English in a very comedic and actually rather natural way. And especially in the third act, it starts to visually get a lot more exciting. So, damn it, why? Damn it, why am I giving so much credit to this film? Because it's actually visually not too bad, and the CGI is actually fine. Thunderpants is really changing cinema. I mean, not really, but for a kids' film, this is actually not bad to look at. It's pretty good, actually. Characters and acting. Okay, this is kind of where I thought the film lost me a little bit. The characters, half of them are likable and I guess harmless. Some of them are actually don't know whether they want to be villains or heroes. Patrick Smash is just your typical, main character who's sort of a loser, but he has a dream. However, he's actually a likable and even kind of a funny character too, and he's not badly performed too, and I'll get to that in a bit. But you can tell he really wants to do what he wants to do, but he has a problem with farting. Alan, his best friend, is probably my favourite character in the film. Although, even though this is the second film that Rupert Grint did, half of the time, and I know that they were just kids back then, but I actually couldn't understand half of what they were saying. It's like they just did their part and they didn't do another take, which is weird. I'm trying to think who else. You got the bully Damien, who's actually quite funny as the very typical school bully, and you've got, and like the celebrities beside minus Rupert Grint are actually really fun. Sir John Osgood, he plays as this very, very, very good opera singer. However, he's a slight cheater. And the way he's portrayed as this over-the-top opera singer is hilarious. And Adam Godley as his competition is even more funnier. Um, Same can be said about Johnson J. Johnson. I'm glad there's technically you could say like the villain is Damien and John Osgood, but one is a bully and he's actually redeemed by the end, and I guess John Osgood is an anti-hero villain. And you would also think that the judge, Anthony Silk, played by, I kid you not, Stephen Fry, is the villain. There isn't really a villain. You could say Damien is, but he's just a bully that's redeemed without no explanation except for what Patrick said near the end. But the rest of the characters are actually really, they really go for it. They chew the scenery by how over the top, cartoony they are, but it works for a film like this. Johnson J. Johnson, I thought, was just really, really funny and actually really, really, just really chewing the scenery. And I like Ed Shepherd too. Actually, all the characters I thought were pretty funny as well. But John Osgood is my favourite. He's just so over the top. And the acting is really good. Actually, Bruce Cook, for a first film, I thought he wasn't too bad. He's not amazing, but for a first film, he's pretty decent. Rupert Grint, I think, he's really good in this film. A little better than frickin'. He is a little better than Harry Potter. I mean, I prefer him in like the later films, like towards Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. But here, I thought he was funny, charming, and actually entertaining. Paul Giamatti, you can tell he's just having a good time with this film as Johnson J. Johnson. Why do characters have that sort of a name? It's lazy. Ned Beatty is a bit of an odd choice, really. And every time I hear him speak, all I can think of is Lotso and Tortoise John. Stephen Fry, even though he's only in the film for like 2 minutes, he's pretty good too. He's actually quite funny as well. Not as funny as he was in Tooth, but still funny. Simon Callow is having a blast as Sir John Osgood. And I thought he was quite funny too. And I don't know, he just looked like he was really enjoying himself. Same with Adam Godley and Celia Imrie as well. All the characters are the characters, most of them I think are very funny and likable. Some of them are not quite sure whether they want to be a jokey villain, a hero at all, or just a side character. But thanks to some really effort-drenching and like actors who are really putting so much effort and humour into their performances, it makes them really entertaining, whether they're good or bad. So the characters are actually fun. On a side note, the score is by, I know it's by one of the Gregson Williams brothers. I think it's Rupert. What a coincidence, because he did the score for the Postman Pat movie. That also had Rupert Grint in it, and they both have Rupert as their first name. Yeah. The score in the film is surprisingly really epic. Yeah, it does sound like a very run-of-the-mill family film score. Like, it sounds like The Borrowers too, which I think Harry Gregson Williams did the score for. I could be wrong. Actually, I'm gonna have a quick look at that. Just bear with me. I'm not gonna take too long here. Wait, did he do the score for that? Was it Harry or Rupert? Oh, it was Harry. Yeah. I thought so. The score is quite beautiful. It fits with the film. I don't know why. I actually don't mind early 2000s family film scores. They actually sound quite beautiful and quite nice. And the song Going All the Way near the end by All Star. It's a very early 2000s song, and there's even a music video with clips from the film. It sounds like an early 2000s song, and it looks like one too. Sorry, guys. I never thought I'd say this, but Thunderpants is what could have been a really terrible film. Actually, turned out to be a pretty good one. Okay, it's not great. I can't say it's like Paddington levels of amazing, but it's actually way better than like Thomas and the Magic Railroad and some of like the other icon films. And in terms of I can't speak today. In terms of family films, it's no Chicken Run. I can say that it's no Chicken Run, but it's better than the Magic Railroad. Railroad Roundabout, which came out like 3 years after. And I haven't seen Christmas Carol the movie, and I assume that one's not going to be as good as this. Thunderpants is a pleasantly surprising film from the early 2000s. Not only do I think it's one of the better British kids films out there, but it's actually funny, clever, entertaining. It visually captures the dull essence of England, or London in this case. The characters are all funny and likeable and insanely entertaining, and the actors put so much energy and so much fun. It just looks like the actors are having a blast with their roles. The music is very beautiful, along with a pretty catchy song, and I think, yeah, it's a legit good film. Yeah, the farting can be a little bit obnoxious and a little bit gaggy, and some characters can't decide whether they're villains or heroes. It's a pretty good film, I'm not going to lie. If you have kids, though, despite the fact that this film has quite a lot of profanity, and I don't mind that at all, I think it makes the film rather, I guess, more mature, I guess, but at the same time it's about farting, so... the kids can watch it, but if they keep asking questions... I can actually see kids just mentioning the word arse and crap and goddamn, because I wouldn't be surprised if this film was banned in some way for so much profanity and all that, but kids can watch it, but just sit with them, and if they ask questions, just answer them like how you should. Because it's a kids' film and they're allowed to get away with that. So I don't know what rating to give it. It's not a 6. It would have been, but... Oh, I mean, it's not a great film, but I didn't hate it at all. 7? Fuck it, 7. I know what you're probably all going to say, what, 7 for this film? It's kind of criminally underrated, and yeah, I know, 7. But I liked it. It actually was a pretty good film. But it could have been so much worse. So yeah, good family film, not amazing, no Paddington, and it's not as good as Chicken Run, but it's better than it had any right to be. I can't believe I said that. It's better than The Magic Roundabout, Thomas and the Magic Railroad, and all these other early 2000s kids films. What is wrong with me? Oh, and by the way, when I was looking up photos for this film for the thumbnail, Bradley Walsh was actually at the event, at the, I guess, premiere of the film, and Peter Lord from Aardman was there too. Is this film an underrated classic? I'm still confused by the reputation that this film gets. I know people hate it because it has farting, but give it a chance, alright? Just give it a chance. Yes, it looks like a generic kids film, but you don't know that. It's still a kids film, but generic is not the film I would describe. It's not really what I would describe the film. It's different and a little bit unique. So yeah, Thunderpants. I'm just surprised by it. So what am I going to do next? Well, we'll have to wait and see. So if you have seen Thunderpants, whether you were very young or like just recently or just in general really, what do you think about it? I'm really curious because people either love it or hate it. It's kind of like the magic pudding, really, because people thought it was like some sort of. They thought the film was some kind of dream, but it's actually real. So, what do you think about the film? Do you think it's good, bad, decent? Do you want to see it? Let me know below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Until next time. Nope. No, I'm good. I was gonna try and do a fart joke, but since I'm pretty much against fart jokes unless they're done to a creative use, I don't see any point of doing it here. Yeah.